Good morning. So coming to Tisha B'Av, as we know, we always have to add in Avas Yisrael, loving your fellow Jew. Like we say every morning, before we even daven, we say Hareini Mekabel Alai Mitzvah Sasei Shel V'Ahavta L'Reyacha Kamecha. That we take upon ourselves to love a fellow Jew as ourselves. So you see that Chamisha Asa B'Av is infused with Avas Yisrael. One of the things that we see that from the 15th of Av is the beauty of Avas Yisrael, loving your fellow Jew. We see that Chamisha Asa B'Av, they stopped cutting wood for the Beis HaMikdash. What was the idea of cutting wood for the Beis HaMikdash? It's as follows. Some people used to have to bring a carbon. They did not have wood. Either the wood, they had just enough wood to start the fire of the coals, to heat up their house, and that's about it. Or to cook food for the family. Now they had to bring a carbon nedava, a carbon of a donation to the Beis HaMikdash, another carbon yachid, and they don't have wood. So what do? Well, people donated to the Lishkas HaEitzim, to the room of the wood, and the whole idea of that was that if someone did not have wood, the Lishkas HaEitzim had wood. And the 15th of Av was Zesu ben Yehuda, and also people had no connection to any Shevet. Why? Because they forgot whose Shevet they belonged to. Kohanim, Levim. That means they didn't look at anyone. Whoever was appointed brought the Eitzim. And what's the reason why? The last time of bringing the Eitzim, last time of cutting the Eitzim was Chamisha Asa B'Av, the 15th of Av, is because the sun is getting weaker. It's getting more light, the darkness is coming in early, so there's less sun. And there's less sun, it does not dry up the wood. And if it doesn't dry up the wood, then there can come worms and everything else. So it's called Yom Tov Magal. That the Magal they break because they have no uses for it afterwards. And that's the epitome of Avos Yisrael. No one knew who they are giving the wood to. There was no ego involved, and there's no embarrassment. Oh, I have to get from this person wood. I don't have enough of my own, everything else. No one gave wood for a specific person or went to Lishkas HaEitzim. That's one thing. And that's where you see Avas Yisrael. And that's why they had wood forever. That's why they had wood for anyone. Someone that didn't have a wood, you were able to take wood from Lishkas HaEitzim. I think it was in the second Beis HaMikdash or the first Beis HaMikdash. They had wood, but they nevertheless did not want to take away the schus of the people that brought wood on certain days of the month of year. and so forth. So they told him to bring wood. That even shows even more that we don't want to take away the schus. So if someone has a schus to do something, you let him do it. You don't try to grab away a schus from someone else. That means if Hashem wants you to have a schus, you take the schus from yourself. Hashem will give you a schus for something else. And no one should push away a schus that they got from Hashem. Someone else would do it. I'm not interested in doing that schus. Nothing. What? Any schus we have, we do it. You don't have to take away other people's schusim. Another thing we see, Menachem Av, is that Shevet Binyamin was able to marry into all the Shvatim, to all the tribes. And there's a whole problem over here. How did they make a shavua? How they swear? Which a shavua is on the person. How they swear that no one can marry into Shevet Binyamin. There was a story with Pelegish Begiva, and they tortured the girl. And they made a shvua that no one can marry into Shevet Binyamin. By Yavish Gilad, there were people that were able to marry. But for all the Shvatim, no. And we can imagine that that's what Yaakov told Yosef too. That Ephraim and Menashe will be like Reuben and Binyamin. What's the reason for that is, let's say one shevet that's to be cancelled out, so they have Ephraim and Menashe. They're like Reuben and Shimon, you. So finished, we took care of it. But still, we know that shevet, that the 12 Shvatim were complete. Even the ones that did theoretically something wrong, we know that Yaakov benched everyone. He only got angered on the actions. He did not get angry on the person. He didn't cancel out any of his sons. So how can you say you can cancel out a shevet? So they said on Chamisha Sabav they could marry each other. Just like there's a mikra that says, a pasuk that says you have to further themselves from them. And then there's a pasuk that says you should bring them closer. And after a while they said they can do it. The idea of Avas Yisrael. Because we know that why can't one shevet marry another shevet? That was only in times before they went into Eretz Yisrael. Because we know our Bnei Slavchat complained that they won't get a chelik in Eretz Yisrael. Why? Because one of the girls will marry outside the shevet, and who will get the land from a different shevet will go into shevet Menashe. So therefore, not being able to marry only in the shevet of Menashe was only for that generation. That was going into Eretz Yisrael, and they got their land already. But afterwards, mutter. So we see the great Eden of Avos Yisrael. And then another thing which happened, that on the Kalu Meisei Midbar, that we know that everyone was had to be buried in the ground. And whoever woke up the next morning, Moshe Rabbeinu said, get up. Then we had 15,000 that were dead. And it kept on going until the 40th year. Came the 40th year. Wait a second. No one died. And they didn't know. Went to the 10th day, 11th day, 12th day. Maybe they made a mistake. Who knows what happened? 13th day, 14th day. Oh, they saw the full moon. They said, oh. So we see over here is that the Simcha was really on Tisha B'Av. And that's why we say Pesukim of Menachem on Tisha B'Av. And it's a day of joy, Tisha B'Av. Because they stopped dying on Tisha B'Av. It just was revealed on Chamisha B'Av. Tisha B'Av comes from the moon. We count 9 days from Rosh Chodesh. We have also the stopping of the wood, cutting the wood on Chamisha B'Av. What does that represent? The weakening of the sun. Now we have a unification of the sun and the moon. We have Tisha B'Av, which comes mitzad the moon. And we count to the moon. And then you have the weakening of the sun, which we stop cutting wood. And then the Bnei Yisrael, Bnei Eretz Yisrael used to go out on Tisha B'Av, on Chamisha B'Av, and say, don't look on the beauty of the body, look on the beauty of the soul. And the Keva is like the moon, which is a Makabel. And this year we have the moon and the sun together. What's the moon and the sun together? Because it's a leap year. And a leap year connects the days of the moon and the days of the sun together. That shows an Avas Yisrael. So Be'ez Hashem will always be Meisif and Avas Yisrael. Do the right thing. Learn Torah and do mitzvahs. Which when you learn Torah with nullification to God, you're not a mitzius. You're non-existence. And that's why through Torah you could connect with another Jew. And mitzvahs. If you're involved with mitzvahs, then you're not involved with Yetzer Hara. So Be'ez Hashem, we will look at the soul of each and every person. We will even say to ourselves, that person has a higher soul than I do. And therefore, when I help him do a mitzvah or I help him out, I'm really helping someone which is much higher than me. So it's a very big schus for me to help him out. But the main thing is, occupy yourself with Torah and mitzvahs, and Be'ez Hashem will have the Gula HaMitis V'Hashlema. Because the main thing is the Gula HaMitis V'Hashlema. And then the moon will always be in the level of the sun. And then there won't be no Yetzer Hara. And there won't be any need for any help. And Be'ez Hashem will go to the Gula HaMitis V'Hashlema imminently right now. Long live our Master, Teacher, and Rebbe, King Moshiach forever and ever. Long live our Master, Teacher, and Rebbe, King Moshiach forever and ever. Long live our Master, Teacher, and Rebbe, King Moshiach forever and ever. May it be right now, before Chamisha Asabav, the true and complete redemption